Okay, so just continuing our previous short video, since convergence of a sequence is all about finding limits, convergence, right? We actually look at the limit as n approaches infinity of the nth term of the sequence and see if that approaches some numerical value L. And if it does, we say the sequence converges. Because this is a limit, all the limit laws that we've learned before are applicable to sequences. So let me just show you some examples of how we might use limit properties that we've used in the past. So let's suppose that we have the sequence negative 1 over n, and we want to know whether this sequence converges or not. What we'll do is we'll take the limit as n approaches infinity of the nth term just to see what's happening down the line as n gets really large. And since this is a limit, we can think of this as the limit as n approaches infinity, the product of negative 1 times 1 over n. Negative 1 is totally unaffected by n getting large, so we can pull it out of the limit and write limit as n approaches infinity of 1 over n. This limit goes to 0, and 0 times negative 1 is 0. Now, this is not new, and you probably do this already automatically, but I just want to make sure that you understand that we can use all the properties of limits that we've used before, but now with sequences. So, for example, if we look at the limit as n approaches infinity of the sequence whose nth term is 5 over n squared, well, of course, this is going to go to 0 as n gets really large, but the property that you're probably applying automatically in your mind is splitting this up into two limits and taking that product, right? Each of these goes to 0, and 0 times anything is 0, and so we're going to get 0. So because we can use all the limit properties that we already know, there are two specific types of properties that come up a lot when we're trying to determine whether a sequence converges or not. One of them is the sandwich or the squeeze theorem, and the other one is L'Hopital's rule. So both probably sound very familiar to you. So let me explain first the sandwich theorem and give you an example of how that might be used with sequences. So let's suppose that we have three distinct sequences, A sub n, B sub n, so this is just in general, and C sub n, and that we also know that after a certain value of n, so whenever little n, so in the term, right, in the list, the position in the list is greater than some natural number, we have that the terms in the A sub n sequence are always smaller than or equal to the terms in the B sub n sequence, always smaller than or equal to the terms in the C sub n sequence. If the limit as n approaches infinity of A sub n is some value L, and that's the same as the limit as n approaches infinity of the larger sequence C sub n, then the one in the middle will also converge to L. Let me give you a visual to help you understand, and then we'll look at a specific example. So remember that I mentioned that sequences can be plotted on a two-dimensional plane. And so let's suppose that A sub n, it's the smallest as n gets really big, so whatever it's behaving, I don't know how it's behaving, actually, it's behaving some way, maybe it looks like that, that's A sub n. And maybe B sub n in yellow, C sub n seems to be, maybe it starts smaller, but eventually is always larger than A sub n, but at some point they seem to approach the same value. And maybe our B sub n is always in between after a certain point. So what this diagram shows is that after a certain value, let's say capital N, the blue sequence is always smaller than the yellow sequence, and the green one is in between. All the terms of b sub n are in between after a certain point. And let's suppose that both a sub n and c sub n converge to some value L, then we can say that b sub n will also converge to that same value. For example, just a real example here, let's look at the sequence cosine of n divided by n. If we look at this specific sequence, we are gonna, one thing that we can say, well, we know that cosine of n, values of cosine are always less than or equal to 1 and greater than or equal to negative 1. Now, if we assume for all sequences n is greater than 0, so if because n is the counting numbers, right? Remember that they're the inputs of a function, a discrete function. So they're the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the counting numbers. So I can take this inequality, divide everything by n. And in the middle, we have the sequence that we're interested in. And it's sandwiched in between two other sequences, always in size, and we know that the two other sequences, as n gets really large, this one's going to tend to 0. As n gets really large, that's going to tend to 0. And so therefore, our sequence, cosine n over n, converges to 0 by the sandwich theorem, because we have sandwiched it in between two other sequences, both of which converge to 0. So that is the sandwich theorem used on sequences. And in the third video, I'm just going to show how to use L'Hopital's rule with sequences. And then you'll get a chance to see 3 short videos on common limits that occur with sequences, and we'll be done with this topic and prepared for series.